What's up, you guys?
Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Hello, and welcome back. My name is Paige.
And I'm Cyndi.
And this is Mom's the Word.
Where mom knows best.
Or at least she's trying her best.
I know that's right. So we are extending our Mother's Day special.
Absolutely. There's another mama in the house.
I will welcome my mom, Diane. Say hello, Mom.
Hello.
You got to talk into it because people on podcast can't
Hello,
hear you.
y'all.
So we're so excited for my mom to be here today.
I love your outfit, Cyndi.
Yeah, I love your outfit.
This was not planned.
No, not at all.
I was like, hey, I've got this one. She was like,
I pulled this out the back of my drawer. I'm like, oh. Twinning.
we love a nightgown.
Well, welcome, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to y'all.
Are you nervous?
I am.
This is the most nervous I think I've ever seen you.
I am.
My mom's already quiet as it is. And
Very.
Now she's on a podcast.
I mean, I've been around her multiple times. I think I've heard her say 30 words.
Yes, she's very quiet.
Out of my, yeah.
One of the best grandmothers,
That's
though,
right.
ever.
Most helpful.
Ever. So helpful,
Yes.
so attentive.
Yeah.
Like, you like read Cindy's mind 99% of the time. Like, from across the room, you'll see something
I
and
love
just...
my grandbabies, all of them. You know, they didn't have grandparents in their life. So I was thinking, I'm going to be what they didn't have to my grandbabies. And they're my world.
Yeah.
like
And my
Cindy.
mom now has had like 15 grandbabies, and she
sure.
loved all of my children that I've ever had.
Yep.
Literally from the day they come to my house, she's like, oh, I'm coming the next day. Who's there right now? I'm coming over.
I treat them all the same.
That's right.
Yep, they're my babies.
Yeah. Yeah, but my mom is very helpful. Not a lot of moms do have that.
Yeah.
I definitely do. Both of my parents are active grandparents. But my mom is the type of grandma that if she's coming into my house, she's going to do the dishes in the sink and do the laundry without even me asking and looking at her. Mm-mm. She's going to pick the baby up if it's crying.
So nice. You want to come to my house?
I would probably do dishes if I came to your house or something. That's
You would
just how
there
I
would
am.
definitely be dishes.
That's just how she
That's
is.
just how I am.
Yeah, which is crazy because when you had children too, was your mom involved or not that active?
That's what I was about to
Because
ask.
I know
It's
you
like,
had sisters who were involved, but what was it like when you had kids?
It was basically Paul and I, your
Yeah.
dad and I.
Yeah.
My mom was around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she took care of little Paul. My sister Debbie, she was always on my side, taking care of little Paul, helping me. When we had Cyndi, we didn't live by my parents. So,
So you didn't have like the help besides
No.
dad.
it makes it difficult.
no, it was just Paul and I,
Yeah.
Cindy's dad and I.
Yeah, but you guys were also really protective of us.
Oh, yeah.
So like if any family was gonna try to like be,
They didn't go anywhere, put it that way. They would come to our house. Like my mom would take Cyndi and Paul in Palm Springs. We would go to San Bernardino. She would take them for the weekend. I was okay with that because my mom was my mom. She's good. She took good care of them.
but not as babies.
No. My baby stayed with us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she was like us. Like our babies aren't
I'm
going.
saying my
nowhere.
baby ain't going nowhere
No.
either.
That's how. If y'all were doing something, we went with you.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
That's why I was like, I'm very well traveled as a little infant. I was very well fed. If they
Yes.
were eating steak, I was eating steak and lobster.
Yes. We never kept our kids out of anything.
Yeah.
If we were eating something good, they were eating something good. We going somewhere, they were going.
Yep.
We never left them.
I'm so intrigued
No.
about like how Cyndi was as a kid and teenager.
Angel.
Because now she's like so put together, right?
like the same,
you see
doesn't it, Floyd?
Sandy.
Cyndi was the most perfect baby ever. Okay? From when she went down at night, I had to, are you breathing?
Yeah.
Because she slept all through. We would go somewhere, I'd put a little blanket on the carpet, she'd play for hours. Oh, yeah. Cyndi was good.
Easy,
That was an
baby.
easy baby.
Very easy baby.
Okay, what about as a teenager?
She was pretty good. I don't recall her getting in any trouble. No, Cyndi never liked to be in trouble. She
I
was
feel like
good.
I've had a little just like I'm a lot of fun. Like I do like
She-
I partied a lot in high
She
school.
loved to party.
but I always drove friends. And like I was like that mama bear friend,
Yes.
like still am. And like I would always drive.
She would be the
parties.
designated driver.
They even let me
Now,
at a party.
If she ever went out drinking,
Mm-hmm.
we always told her, "You don't drive, you call us." And she called us twice.
Sure have.
And
Yeah.
we got up in the middle of the night and we told her, "Stay safe, lock your in the car and we'll be there. But
Yeah.
yeah, she was always,
Yeah.
She loved to party though. Every party there was a party.
I was
Big old-
never allowed to go to high school parties, so that blows my mind that
she was-
not only did you go, but like there was open communication
literally. I'd
of
be like,
trust
I
there.
would be like, well, me and my friends were on our way to go party right now.
You should see some of the clothes that her friends wore.
Oh gosh.
Underwear and bra. And I told Cindy, she's
You know, they had like lingerie parties and stuff. We were there.
Our house would be the house where all the girls got dressed, okay?
Yeah.
Cindy, we were for them at our house.
Yeah.
Don't go to no one else's house, it's our house. And, Cindy had some
And in
good
high
parties.
school, I was super active in
Yes.
sports, so I didn't have a lot of time to like get into trouble.
Cindy was a softballer. In case
Yeah.
y'all didn't know, she was like,
From,
a
seven-
college
Yeah.
softballer.
7 to college.
And she did good. She was good.
I got to see some old videos.
I don't even. Back then, it wasn't a thing to have like videos recorded.
Right.
Like it's hard to find pictures of me playing.
I got, I saved every article about her.
Yeah, the
I had
newspaper.
her own, everything.
The clips out of the newspaper.
Everything,
Oh, that's
yes.
so cute.
She was always batted for. She
Yeah.
was just, yes, she was good.
And your mama too. When you refer to little Paul, that's because Cindy has an older brother who's about 12 feet tall. In case you were wondering, super tall, and pretty quiet as well.
He's quiet. He's
yeah.
like, you know what? He's like his mama.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy's like her dad. Very outspoken, not afraid to say hi to nobody. Though Paul was shyer, but I think he's got through that now. But I think Cindy is well behaved because when Paul got in trouble, she had to sit at the kitchen table for hours and listen to him
Get in trouble.
And
My
she
little
wasn't
sister's the
having it.
same.
I was gonna say like to explain to them, Mom, like your guys' discipline for us because this has been huge on me as a parent. So like when we were little, you and Dad decided on what? You
No
want-
hitting. There's absolutely
That's really
no
beautiful.
spanking. There was no spanking in our house
Never.
allowed.
Oh,
And
I
they
got
would-
spanked.
They would get at the kitchen table and have to listen to her dad lecture. Whoever got in
That's
trouble.
what I said. I said her generation was a lot of spanking.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Like
to-
shirts.
and Vance will be like, please.
No.
And I'm like,
No.
no, you're going to hear me.
No.
They had to sit and listen, and then they got something taken away. Like Paul's was Nintendo, Nintendo computer.
PlayStations,
Yeah,
yeah.
he got that taken away. Cindy never got nothing taken away because she was too scared to get in trouble by her dad.
Yeah.
Which is well because like looking back
she-
now, I've
yeah.
always been intimidated by my dad, but I've never been hit. I've never been grounded. It was just always
Watching.
You needed to be this way, like, and you knew what was expected.
Mm-hmm.
And like my dad's like the kindest soul, and he would never hurt me, but for some reason,
You had a fear of disappointment.
yeah, oh
I
yeah,
think you still do a little bit. You don't like disappointing people at all.
no.
But whenever discipline comes into play, hanging over it too, I think you were like, no, I'd rather not.
Cindy was good, yeah.
yeah. That sounds like crazy because like I was pretty good. Like I wanted good grades.
Always.
Yeah.
And if she what was the 11th grade you were doing bad in math?
Yeah.
She cried
Yeah.
because she could not
We
get
could not have been more different
Okay,
as
so
a child.
she got up every morning to go start school an hour ahead to go get taught this math that she was having problems with, and she aced it with a B.
And the sad thing was, I had like a C in the class. It wasn't even
No,
failing.
she had to have a B.
I was stressed out
Yes,
beyond
Cindy
belief.
was a stressful little
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, and so like that was something like that a lot of people don't know, which we didn't know back in the day. Is I had anxiety as
Yes.
a child. Yeah. Bad. Like you can even think of me little.
She would get up in the middle of the night, and we would have to dance with her. She didn't know
Night
what was going
terrors
on.
went
Night
on for a
terrors
long
forever.
time.
Anxiety. She'd get anxiety if she was late somewhere. Anxiety kicked in. She would just
And back then, y'all didn't know
Back
what
then
it was.
It wasn't common.
And my dad would just be like, "You just need to pray to God that you can be calm." Like
Yes.
that's all they would know to tell me.
Dad would tell her, "God's got you. Pray to God."
Yeah.
And she
There's
did.
our puppy again.
Because I would overreact about like everything. If I
Everything.
was late, oh, they were hearing it.
Let me tell
I don't
you,
like to be
you
late
get up
either,
early.
so I do get anxiety around that big time.
No, it's not Cindy. Can't be late.
No, and then there was other things like I was
She's
just
still not
I was
late.
afraid of things.
She would. Her brother would torture her sometimes.
Not in a bad way,
hiding,
guys.
Not in a bad way. Like one time we went out to dinner, and he was old enough. They were old enough.
Babysit me, yeah.
Him and his friends got on top of the roof and were scaring Cindy. And Cindy's calling me Mom. She would get anxiety that way. Or we went camping one time, and we had to go down a hill.
And I would cry.
They
I'd
made
freak
her
out.
told her that the brakes were going to go out.
Yeah.
So she got anxiety on that. I mean, she really.
Like I would over worry, which I still have
Yes.
as an adult.
Yes.
But looking back now, I'm like, dang, I was really an anxious child.
She was anxious. Back then, they didn't know. So all we
Right.
could do was pray. Like, okay, you'll
That's
get
what she
through
would
this.
do. Yeah, they would pray. But,
That's valid though. That is what they would do. Because even I had anxiety as a kid, and it was never diagnosed until I was in my 20s. So
yeah, people, and you don't know what to do at that age.
No.
Like nothing was, they didn't know what ADHD was.
ADHD was a huge diagnosis
They
then.
didn't even know what colic was. My son had it. They had no clue.
Your baby just was crying all the time.
Cry, having
Modern
it all
medicine.
night. They didn't
Colic
even-
is hard.
Yeah.
Colic is
you
so
had Paul at
hard.
what age?
I was just turning 21, so 20. I had Paul at 20.
And he
Then
was,
I had Cyndi at 24.
and Paul was hard.
And Paul was hard.
Very hard.
Cindy's like, just to be
He
clear.
led the way, my brother.
He was hard because, like I said, he cried and cried. My poor sister, we lived together. He was born on Valentine's Day, and my sister's daughter was born a week after. Paul was born at 10:30. She was born at 10:30 at night. Week apart. So we stayed, we were young couples. We were both married, so we lived together, and she would come out and try to rock Paul. She would try to do everything.
Her baby was sleeping and your baby was not sleeping.
Yes.
That's hard.
That was hard. It
That's
was
really
hard.
hard. Especially because I'm sure you have a share fare of like mom guilt of being like, please, baby, please calm.
First,
Doing
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. And then you feel like if that baby's not colicky, what's wrong?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So then back then there wasn't as much knowledge.
No.
So you're thinking everything and anything can be wrong.
Yes.
So I'm sure you had anxiety yourself a little bit.
I probably did.
Do you think that like back then, now that we know what like postpartum is, that you felt that? Like, because I know back then they just called it the baby blues. You had the baby blues. Do you felt like you had that with Paul because he was so hard, or you don't feel like you had
I don't feel that way.
You never had that
No.
with him. But you felt your sister helped you a lot.
Yes, my sister Debbie, she was there.
Yeah.
And y'all lived in California, right? I was going to say, Cindy's not from Texas.
Don't be telling them that.
Palm
This ain't
Springs.
Texas.
Paul was born in Palm Springs. She was born in Victorville.
Yeah, we're from California.
California.
I don't know if a lot of people
Southern
know that.
California.
Paige just put me on blast here.
It's
I don't
not
announce
a
it
big
because I live in
secret.
Texas and people don't like people from California, which is all right. I get it. We're valid.
yeah.
We're taking over everything. But
I like
promise I can tell y'all that I have loved Texas. And
You've been here a long time.
Yeah, we've been here 8 years, almost 9 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been here a while, and my parents have been here now 9 years too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that's so nice. Move together.
Oh yeah, people always have like they just followed you. I'm like, they sure damn did. They sure did.
There's I'll never forget, we were playing a softball. Remember?
Oh, yeah, we playing like adult softball,
Yes.
slow pitch.
And they came up to us as we're moving. And I'm like, where are you moving? Texas. I said, you are, but one catch. I said, what's the catch, Mikey? You guys got to come with us. And
Yep.
I looked at her dad, and I'm like, I don't know how we're going to do this. Because, there's a lot to think about.
Y'all are older, hard to
Moving
find
up
a
your whole
job.
life.
Yeah,
Try to find a new job. But you know what? We did.
yeah.
Best thing.
So like my parents, I've always been really close to my parents. I've always been a daddy's girl. I've always been very close to them, and I just felt like my parents, they had nobody else there. Like.
It was always us four.
Yeah, and so my brother was married off and, having his life with his wife.
Yep.
And I was their baby, and they're, were still in my life actively. So I'm like, y'all are coming with me. Like, we're all going together. And especially because, like, I knew I wanted to have kids. And so I was like, y'all are coming. And so we did. We sure
did.
I'm
did.
sure
And
you
it
were like, I'm
worked
not
out.
missing out on that.
No, it worked
no.
out good. I mean,
Yeah.
Chris, he's an angel.
Perfect.
He is just good, yes.
Perfect.
Hello, yes. So we all just get along good.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but,
Y'all are a unit, very much so a unit.
yeah. Which
And
is,
we always have been.
yeah.
It's always been us four. If you know what, Cyndi played softball, come on, Paul, get. And I don't care if Paul was 18, he was going with us.
Yeah.
We always went everywhere together as a family.
It's crazy because like the family values that my parents taught me were very important ones, and I felt like my parents' childhood were way different than that. My dad struggled as a child. He had a really rough childhood. So for him to become a man at a young age and have 2 children, battling his own traumas of alcoholism and things like that, to put these values into us. Like, yeah, we were a family unit. My parents, we stayed together everywhere. Family came first,
Yep.
always.
We
you know?
always sit at the kitchen table for dinner and we asked, how did your day go?
Yeah.
I mean, Paul was, your dad's big on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And now I carry on those values
Yep.
to my children. And so like a lot of people, like, I do know that I'm lucky, and people say, well, you're lucky you had a good family unit. But my parents, my dad came from a broken family unit. My mom did have great mom and sisters, but it
Yeah.
was also
Yeah.
not as strong of a unit. You know, you had to live with your grandparents for a long time. And so like for my parents to create this now dynamic and break generational curses, you guys broke them.
Yeah.
and now we are the children living past those curses are amazing because my dad stopped alcoholism in his family.
He's been sober
addiction.
40 years
yeah.
now.
And all that education. We were the first grandkids to graduate from college.
Yes.
And like that has a lot to do with you guys, even though you had a rough life. Yeah.
I was the first one to graduate from college.
Good.
So like you're breaking generational curses at your age.
And that's what I was just thinking in my head is like my kids will look as confident and as put together as Cyndi does.
Yeah.
Because they say like you go until someone is willing to feel it.
Yeah.
The lesson continues over and over again. And so I'm thankful that I felt it, even if I feel things very deeply, because I hope that my kids will have this type of relationship with me as I get older. Yeah. I was going to ask like your biggest advice. Y'all are very close.
It's not easy because, poor Paul, he had his friends picked.
Yeah.
My brother Paul, not my dad.
Yeah, her brother had. Her dad would say you can't hang out with him because when growing up, what kind of life he lived.
Right.
So it was hard, but you know what? He listened. My kids were good, and now Cyndi, all her friends are good girls. I mean, we never.
You guys kept a good eye on us.
Yes.
And who we did hang out with.
Yeah. Y'all were involved. It sounds like y'all were involved in everything.
You have to be.
That's what it was.
You have to be.
Yeah. But it didn't feel overbearing, though.
No.
Like, we were able to tell our
like
parents
how do you teeter in between that line of being involved enough that she'll trust you, but also parenting?
My kids did. I mean, there was things that little Paul knew not to do.
I think it started young, right? Like, you guys think, like, you put that in us young?
Yes.
And so as we got to teenage years, we didn't have to, we didn't, like, go off.
No. And if they wanted to do something that they weren't sure about, they always asked.
And Paul did stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when we would go TP houses, we would tell them.
He would say, Dad, can I go TP house with my friends? And Paul, his dad said, as long as you don't vandalize, don't touch no one's property, you could throw toilet paper over the tree. That's fine. So, I mean, there's a couple
let him live a
things
little is what it sounds like. You get to live a little.
That Paul knew not to do. He did the right choice.
Yeah. Honestly, look back and think my parents, like, well, honestly, I don't know how y'all did it because me and my brother had a lot of freedom. Like, there was never like, nope, you can't go do that. It was always, yes, you can do that, but this, and this. Yeah. Like, I'm going to this party tonight, and my mom would be like, okay, well, something goes down, you need to leave. If someone's doing this, you need to leave. Like, there was just in my head of what could happen.
Yeah.
Be respectful to the house. Don't go to anybody's house. If you're partying, don't ruin their house. And so, like, that's more what it was. They weren't going to tell us no because we were going to want to do it anyways.
Yeah.
I struggle with that because I know, especially Vance, I know that he knows to make the right decisions, but it's the fear of what could happen.
And you know what? They're going to do something that, like, Paul. So his dad came home one afternoon because his pants split. And what was Paul doing, her brother? Having a big old pool party.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But we wouldn't have, like, hurt the house or anything.
No, they weren't hurting the house. They were having fun, but they were ditching.
Yeah.
But it was senior ditch day or something. So
that's so funny.
Kids will do what they can do.
I don't know. I just love that I can always ask.
Yeah.
My mom,
my kids always ask.
That's huge that they can come to you and ask. And I feel privileged in the sense of like Vance will come ask us and I don't even think about it now of it being like a line of trust and him not sneaking. That could be because Life 360, I know where you're at.
Nowadays you know where they're at.
Yeah, nowadays I know you play by play. But he's not sneaky in that sense. So that's always something you get scared of as they get older is like, please just trust me enough to tell me so that I can try at least to steer you on the right path. It seems like you did a great job of that.
It was good, yeah.
I think really it was just more so just like talking things out. Like I just knew that if something was going to go down that my parents would help me.
Yeah.
Like I threw a big old party. I threw a rager of a party my senior year and I asked for permission. Like, can it be at my house?
Oh, yeah.
Literally a rager of a party.
And her dad said, sure. Okay. And I was like, oh,
this is incredible.
When we were there, we were upstairs. We didn't come downstairs.
I had said it was just my senior class. I said, we're going to bring in 2008 with the class of 2008. They're like, sure. And then it ended up being super bad. There was fights.
There was fights?
Some random people came in.
Cindy's dad had to come down and grab the kid.
And take him, older outside. People came to our party, like 20-something-year-olds.
Yes.
First of all, why are you at a high school party?
Yeah. But it was wild.
Oh my God! But I gotta say,
but like the memory alone makes you giggle and like makes you happy. Both
when
of you.
I went to school the next week, and they're like,
it was sick.
They were. But I gotta to say, they cleaned up the mess.
Yeah, all my friends.
All the friends cleaned up the mess, put everything back.
That's wonderful.
But Cindy was the talk of the town, boy. That's cool.
Y'all were the safe house.
No, they were.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes,
for
it was.
sure.
That's the safe house, big time.
And I've never felt afraid to tell them things. Like partying or got bad grades, because they never reacted with like hatred or mean. It would be like, okay, well, what can we do to make this better? You know, how can we help you?
You weren't met with judgment.
No, never.
So you had no fear of what are they going to think of me.
Oh, no.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
No.
It was good.
Got good kids. Yeah. She was very
What's your most what are you most excited about now as you watch Cyndi be a mom to all of these babies, but babies of her own as well?
Cyndi is a great mama. I mean, great. She gives these kids so much love. Bear love, Paul, any kid that comes in. And, you know, I'm proud of her.
Yeah. I learned a lot from my mom.
She's good.
Yeah.
She is.
But
And she's got them kids on a good schedule.
Man,
been
the
telling my
best
sisters,
schedule.
I'm babysitting, and this is like at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and she goes, "Where's the kids?" I said, "In bed." "What do you mean they're in bed?" I said, "Oh yeah, Cindy's got them on a good schedule, and then that gives me and Bear movie time, and he likes to have popcorn with Nani, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I said, "Cindy, I'll watch them kids anytime. They're so good." They're like, "Cindy, yes."
Basically, you're like, I'm going to put them to bed, and then you can watch Bear.
Yes,
Just make sure they sleep well.
Yeah,
But
Cindy's got a big heart. She takes really good care of them kids, and no harm. She don't want nothing harm. No.
How do you handle the mourning that she goes through whenever a baby leaves? Because I'm sure in a lot of ways you're that baby's nanny too.
yeah,
It's hard.
So it can be hard on both of you.
Yeah,
it's hard emotional.
it's hard.
You cry when they leave,
girls, the
too.
boys that left us, it's heartbreaking because you're like, I'll never see them again. And I always ask Cindy, how they doing? You know, so
We'll like look at pictures, or they send me them.
Yes.
I'll show her, because they all love my mom.
yeah, I'd walk in and they called me Nani.
Yeah, all of
I was their
them.
Nani, and I think, God, I just missed them.
Yeah.
Special thing.
Do you think that now, like, you seeing me as a stay-at-home mom was different from when you were a stay-at-home mom, or do you think it's the same? Like, I'm very active stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
Is it
I
like
wasn't.
that?
I was a stay-at-home mom, but you know what? I had Barney on. Okay? I had Barney on, and I made lunches and all that. But no, we didn't go out like you, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you go to the parks.
Yeah.
Cyndi be out.
I'll be
Yeah,
out.
She'd
Yeah.
be out all the
I
time.
love it.
There wasn't like the mom groups and stuff
No.
when you were
Well,
having. You
I
don't
was
know.
to myself.
You said, I'm not going.
I only had Dad and I.
I didn't want to be part of that anyways.
Yeah, she didn't
no.
want to go.
No.
But
That's
we
me.
had like cousins around.
Or
us.
we'd walk the day, let's go meet your brother at the bus stop, and we'd get out and
That
walk.
was our day.
That was our outside activity. Let's go. Other than that, we were home. And yeah.
That's me, 100%.
Literally.
100%.
You're like, I'll be at home.
If you need me, you know where I am.
Yeah.
Is there anything you think you would do over again with us kids? Or one of the things you wanted to do when you didn't get to do?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I raised you guys pretty good.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Especially
I
that
don't
one.
know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
around
think-
Paul a lot, but
No, Paul's
'cause
very kind.
He's very
good man.
Yeah, very kind,
Oh,
very
yeah.
soft spoken. But I've been around Cyndi enough to know whether or not she's a good person or not.
Yeah, they
Probably
both are.
one
They
of the
both turned
biggest
out-
hearts.
You know, they
A little
both
loud,
turned
but-
out good. Cindy, yes. Paul's quiet. Cindy,
It's loud.
she ain't scared of nothing. Paul ain't either, but yeah, Cindy.
Yeah.
I'm here in the house, Cindy. Okay, I love her.
Oh, you know what, Mom, that people ask me all the time is, so I nap, right, every single day,
Yeah.
okay? And I don't think what people realize is I've napped every single day since I was little. Like, this isn't just me as a lazy mom. Every day I would come home, right?
Yep.
Even from school.
Every day after school, she'd take a nap.
Always.
Then when she got older, went to work, come home, take a nap. Oh, Cindy napped.
I love a nap.
Yeah.
Cindy loves
Like,
her
people always
naps.
like, well, like, oh, it's because you're lazy or you're
No.
fat, so you're tired midday. I'm like,
Oh,
nah,
we
girl,
don't
I've
use-
always
and
napped.
we don't use that word
Oh, yeah.
in our house.
This is a huge thing,
no, we
Mom.
don't use that word.
So my mom
No.
is what we would call the opposite of an almond mom.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that? Okay.
An almond mom is like a mom that's very aware of your weight and is like would hand you like a handful of almonds to get you by rather than feeding you.
Oh, heck no.
My mom's what we call a Cheeto mom.
A buffet mama.
My parents would feed us, but that is something that is so important that y'all did for us, is that I've never felt big.
No.
And I know I am, but
No,
like,
no.
so to this day, me and Chris will mess with my
Yeah.
mom, my husband, and we're like, we're so fat because we are. And she'll be like, she'll still tell us, you're not fat. Like, that's not in her vocabulary.
No.
And I spoke to Jay about this, and we were talking about it. When I was a kid and there were people around us, would you allow people to, like, even look at me a certain way because I was bigger?
No.
No, I just know she wouldn't.
No, we don't, because
You'd
we're not
protect us.
fat. You know, everybody's made. Some are skinny, some are medium, some are big bones, some are, healthy. Yeah, we're not. There's no fat. We don't
And we
look
were,
at
and me and Paul were
people.
complete opposites.
Yeah.
Paul was very tall, lengthy.
And thin.
Yeah. And
Like Bear.
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Bear is going to
even
look just
more.
like it.
Paul's favorite thing was a bowl of Captain Crunch every single day, morning, noon, and night. That kid could eat it, and he never gained.
Not almonds, guys,
No.
I'm telling you.
He never gained.
We had big bags of cereal.
But Cindy's just built big
Differently.
girl. She's
Yeah.
not. There's no fat in our. No, we don't look at people like that.
Dude, I remember, like, I would cry
I
and
love
people at
that.
school would say it to me. And I remember Dad would say, like, well, it's because you're stronger than them.
Yeah.
If they want to talk to you, you can show them you're stronger than them.
Yeah.
Just because you're stronger and you have more muscles than them, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
You're taller than them. And I'd be like, you're right. I am bigger than them.
Yeah,
Like,
don't ever let no one tell you different or degrade you. And I'll tell you, Cindy sticks up. And and I told Cindy, don't ever let no one degrade you. You stand up.
Mm-hmm.
You can be whatever you want to be. You be it.
That's right.
So that
Don't
brings
think
me
you
to
can't.
it didn't make you uncomfortable in the mall whenever we decided to talk ugly to the people behind us because they were being judgy towards Juliet and Fox talking.
Yeah.
Because I had to stand up.
No, but that's okay. You stand up for your babies.
That's right.
And they weren't doing nothing.
No.
They weren't doing nothing.
No.
Yeah, my mom was there the day you guys thought the ladies were rude to our
They
babies.
were rude. They were rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are your babies. Of course, you're going to stand up and put her in her
We
place.
don't play.
It
We
made her
did.
think, okay? It
Yeah.
made her.
And it did clearly make her think.
Yes.
She stopped real quick. She was
Yeah.
like, oh.
No, you don't do that.
I think she's used to people in her life not putting her in
for
her
sure.
place. There's certain groups of people you can tell who's like a ringleader and who's just that bossy, bratty type
Yeah.
that never gets put in their
Yes.
place. And she thought she was rocking the whole
Yes.
restaurant. And how high do you want me to jump?
You
I'm
did-
that person.
You did good, yeah, because the kids weren't doing nothing. They were
Thanks.
laughing and having fun. Yeah, no.
You're not like them other ladies, Mom.
No, because I'm not going to name names. There is a motherly figure in my life right now. I will say it's not Julie. That if I were to stand up and have any sort of conference, they'd be like, "Oh no, let's pray about it." No.
No.
God doesn't like ugly, and I'm like, well, God also didn't make me crazy for me to sit here and do nothing.
No, you're not being ugly.
No.
You're just letting them know.
Speaking
hey,
the truth.
That's
Yeah.
what
That's what I'm
babies.
doing.
This is what a baby's doing. What do you mean, really?
If you don't want to hear them, then leave. You
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Yeah, babies are kids. No.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
No.
So people always ask me like how I am so confident, and I will literally say because my parents made me confident. So like, what would you tell their parents to raise their kids? Like, how did you guys think to like make us confident? I guess
We just let you know to be whatever you want to be.
always.
Always.
Yeah.
Don't ever let no one stand in your way. Go for it. Reach for the stars because you're going to do it.
Yeah. I feel like y'all like beat it in us so much that we're like, yeah,
Yes.
we are. Yeah,
You
we are.
have to be somebody, and I wish that was taught to Paul and I, you know, but no, you have to go to school. You got to be somebody to make it in this world.
And whatever that may be,
Yeah.
like you get to choose what that is.
Right.
And little Paul, because I asked Cindy this too, because I forgot, but little Paul, he had a job at Six Flags. And we let him work. He was 15, I think he
Yeah,
started.
you can work back then.
But his
15.
senior year, he had to quit. There was no work in senior year because
Yeah.
that's the last of partying. That's the last of having fun.
Yeah,
'cause
before it
the
gets real.
world's going to come.
Yep.
Now, Cindy, she wanted to babysit little kids at the bowling alley in her senior year, okay? But she only got to do it 1 or 2 days out of the week.
And it wasn't for
At
very
the
long.
bowling alley.
Yeah, there was like when bowling leagues would bowl,
Yeah.
we'd watch their kids.
Because after high school, it's done. It's the real
Yeah,
world, okay?
yeah.
And there's nothing for free, so you got to.
Yeah,
got to
y'all
get
let
out
us be
there and-
kids a long time.
Yes.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I was an immature like teenager too because like I played with Barbies till I was like 13.
Yep.
Y'all protected us a lot from that.
I say it doesn't even sound immature. It sounds like you were doing
No, I
kid
was.
things, and that's
She
beautiful.
was. She was.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I
And
look
her
back,
friends that she hung out, all kids. You all were
Yeah.
outside playing and just doing kid things.
but there were other girls my age that were a lot more grown than I
Exposed
was.
to
And another
other
thing,
things.
Cindy could not shave her legs.
Yeah, you guys protected me
or
from that.
Wear makeup.
I was not
Until-
supposed to shave my legs, and I did.
Okay, Cindy did.
Oh, I
she
was
was
scared to death. Heck no.
Oh no, my dad caught it, and then I got to have hairy legs for like 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, Cindy couldn't, the whole middle school, you couldn't, no.
So like I was very curvy when
Yeah.
I was little.
Yes.
And so like my dad, I would always have to buy like a size up in things, and I never understood why.
Yeah.
But I look back now and I think like, oh yeah, well at 12 and 13,
Yeah.
you don't want your little girl looking curvy.
Yeah.
And so they protected me that way,
Yes.
and they weren't mean about it. My
They
dad
didn't make you aware, like, oh, you're too curvy.
No.
None of that.
No.
No.
They were very good about like, okay, well, this is
Yeah.
how us girls dress. My mom would be really good about like, let's pull your shirt up over your stomach, and,
Yeah.
and I've never felt like it was a bad thing.
No.
It was just
That's how we didn't want her out there, and you have all these weird people,
Mm-hmm.
these
Yeah.
weird guys, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because once we know when she hit high school, that's going to be a different story. She needs to shave her legs,
Yeah.
and yeah.
But yeah, they kept me as little as long as
Yeah.
I could until my freshman year. Then I got to shave my legs.
Yeah. I wear a
so
little
cool.
bit of eyeliner.
Wear
or something
makeup.
she
I wore
had on.
eyeliner.
Yeah. I wore eyeliner, so I can remember that.
Yeah, so y'all did a good job about like protecting us from some weird
We tried.
people.
It's hard. It's hard to be a mom.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
It's hard to be a parent,
Yeah.
know, and you just pray that you're doing the right thing, and
Y'all did.
and we did. Like I said, it was just us four.
Yes.
Do you prefer, well, I don't even think preference is the word, but like when you think back about like when Cyndi and Paul were little, do you like that stage of life more than now watching her as an adult?
What do you like being a? You like seeing me as an adult, being friends
No,
with
I
me?
love seeing who my kids are today.
Yeah.
Paul grew up to be a handsome, hardworking man and good husband. Cindy is a beautiful mama and wife, and I mean, I'm proud of both of them. So yeah, I'm happy
Right now.
the way
In
they
this
turned out.
stage.
Yeah,
Gives
I
us
do
something to
miss
look
my
forward
little
to.
Cindy sometime, but yes, I love both of them. Yeah,
I think my dad would say the opposite. I think he enjoyed us so
Yes.
much as littles.
yeah.
And when I got married, it was like a big thing.
Oh, he took it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so my dad would
Yeah.
definitely say us as little
That's
kids.
little kid.
Yeah.
Because
now
that's
we're
his
like on-
punky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, nobody knows that's my nickname.
yeah.
Punky. I knew
Punky.
it.
Yeah, you did. But yeah,
I'm going to start calling you that.
a lot of people.
That's
do.
all we
If
call
anybody
her.
ever spots me now who plays softball
Yeah.
with me, that's what they call me.
Yeah.
It's not a weird
They
thing.
called you that in softball.
Oh, everybody.
They called me Beeper.
Beeper. I like
Beeper.
that.
Pager.
Oh, pager.
Oh.
It was
Yeah.
the 90s, so I'd go up and everybody, beeper, beeper, beeper. I was not good, to be fair. Well, it's not. I only lasted a few seasons. It was really bad. But I tried. I went back to dance.
You're
I ran
cute.
with my hands out like this.
Oh my God.
I was
No.
very obviously a dancer.
Good
I was-
for you,
I
though.
was
You
super
tried,
tomboy.
and that's what you have to do. That's what I love about Cindy, putting Bear in all these sports.
Yep.
And then
I'll
I
try
know little
anything.
Fox is going to be in these sports.
Yep.
Fox
boy.
Yeah. So I think it's wonderful. Put them out there. That's what we did.
That's right.
We did with Paul and we did with Cindy.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes.
What would you tell moms nowadays, like
Yeah.
young moms? And I know, like for me, I'm lucky because I get to just ask for you for advice all the time. But like, what would you tell them from like since you were a mom, or was hard or whatnot?
It's hard out there, but find that somebody that you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Find that someone that will give you a break, like, hey, that you can trust. I know a lot of ones don't have moms
Yeah.
or grandparents in their life, but that's somebody. You need somebody. A best friend,
Have
Yes.
you?
You need somebody to help you through it.
Yeah. You need someone that'll
Because you
watch your
need
kids.
a break.
I've got you. You ain't gonna watch my kids, but if I need to cry, I could call
But
you.
if you need
right.
it, someone to watch your kids, you got them. You know what I mean? You got somebody. So it's
hard to do.
That's at the exact same
It's
time.
hard.
Kyler's watching my daughter
there you
right
go,
now, so
okay.
technically, we have our village.
See, so that's it.
We're building it
I
still.
didn't have a village back then.
Yeah.
I had my
That is
sister,
true. You need
and then
somebody.
that was it. Yeah,
Because it's
So it was
lonely.
just-
Motherhood can be really lonely.
And there's just so many. I think these support groups can be good, but they can also be really toxic because people are just so judgmental. So I love the saying. I've said it for years that I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies.
Yeah.
And I feel like having just a small group of people that I can trust
Yeah.
with my ugliest moments,
Yeah.
with when I say I'm a horrible mom, for them not to be like,
not gonna
oh,
judge
she
you."
is. Oh my God,
Yeah.
she's having so many bad days. And instead,
Yeah.
pick me up and be like, you
That's
are
it.
not
That's
a
what you
bad
want.
mom.
Yeah.
You are having a bad day.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, so that's huge.
And that's how Cindy is. She will try to pick up anybody. She don't let
I try.
nobody.
I have low
You
days
do.
too,
Yes.
but I try.
She is. She's a great friend.
Yeah, she's a really,
Yeah,
really,
and-
really great friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's a great daughter.
Is it weird?
Beautiful. I would say beautiful.
What?
Is it weird to sit in between the compliments?
Nah, my mom always compliments me. That's the thing
I'm
about like
so
since
bad
I was
about
a
it.
child, they've always been proud of me and vocalized how proud they are.
Yeah.
Like even this podcast, my dad will be like, "I just put it on to listen. I'm not really listening, but I'm gonna turn it on so you get some views for it." And he's like, "I've seen you talk about something about mom, so I just liked it." So
That's
like
Dad,
they'll
yeah.
just keep they're always
Yeah.
so proud of me. But.
Yeah, we
That's
are
so
very
cute.
proud.
Well, let's
Yes.
bring Jay in. Jay's
Come
gonna
on,
ask some
Jay.
questions. Come on, Jay. Let's do this.
Jay's here.
Hi, guys.
Welcome in, Jay.
Oh my Lord. So I feel like today has been such a high of emotions, right? Obviously we recorded.
Yeah, we recorded with Paige's mom before this.
And then we have this one. and
Different
so it's
stories.
like total different stories. And so as a parent, my mind is just
All over the place.
churning so much from that first episode and into this now and kind of seeing differences. And it's like, I want to take a little bit of both. And as a parent, and,
Jay's eyes are
apply
watering.
that. Yeah, it's been very deep for her. I've been sitting over here like, ooh, dear.
That's what I kind of hope from these things is like take the good from all of the things that we're sharing with you guys. That's what we got to do as parents.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think that the strongest thing that I've listened to today is like, talking about like your dad and your upbringing and how y'all have broken generational curses. And you are the, what do you say? Like the fruits of the labor?
Yeah,
How do
I'm
you
the
say
fruits
it?
of the labor.
Yeah, fruits of
my
the
brother are both
labor.
the fruits
And
of
so
the labor.
that's just amazing because me personally, I feel like I'm in the breaking generational curses. And so then it's like, is this a glimpse into potentially what my children will be like Cyndi?
Yeah, I
Right?
get that. Like someone told me, like, oh, it must be so nice not to have any trauma. It must be so great for you to have that. And I am very fortunate, right? I still have anxiety and things like that I struggle with, but it is a weird thing to not have a mental health struggle from my parents. And hopefully that way, y'all will not give your kids some mental health problems.
We can only hope.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely interesting because one of the things that you said, and we talked about this personally about your childhood. We were talking about how when I was younger, I have a really big body dysmorphia, calling myself fat, and Cindy's like, that just wasn't my thing. And I was like, well, it wasn't that my mom called me fat. And like in Mexican culture, I know Cindy's Mexican, no, just kidding. But in Mexican culture, it's very common to be called gordito. And even though they say it with the term of endearment, at the end of the day, you grow up and you're like, oh, I've been called gordito my whole life, which you grow up and you're like, oh, that's fat. And so you grow with that in your mind. So my mom used to call me gordito, my gordito hermoso, which is like my handsome fat boy.
Yeah,
It sounds a lot better in Spanish.
Yeah.
And so you kind of grow with that. And so I like that you never did that because I have a lot of trauma based off of my weight just because of that. And then my family members, like my aunts and my cousins, it was something that constantly is that. And that's how my family is. Like the first time you haven't seen them in forever, they'll be like, oh my God, you have gained weight since the last since the last year that I saw
is
you, or I haven't seen you
horrible.
in 5 years. Wow, you're huge. And that's like in the first 5 minutes. This is what they're telling you. So in my family, it is something that's very big. So I love that y'all do that because one of the things that Kyler and I are trying to do is I don't want anyone to come to my house and call my kids outside of their name. Unless it's like a word of, like I call my children my love or mi vida. My mom calls us mi vida. So it's like my life. And so words of encouragement, yes. Or like affection, yes. But do not call my children out of that. And I like how you said that your mom would always make sure that nobody did that because I am like that. I have corrected plenty of family members and friends to say you do not do that. I don't care if you mean with a great intent. In Latino culture, Mexican culture, do not call my children outside of their names. And I think that's amazing. And so sometimes as Kyler and I, we think of all the generational curses that we're trying to break. I think to myself, like to kind of see this episode for me, it's kind of like, okay, hopefully we will, I will see my children. Yeah.
You are. You're doing a great job.
you
Jay.
will.
You're very aware of it, and that is like so important for you to be able to see from the outside what it would feel like. And so I definitely think you are. You've already been doing it. And so
Right. And I don't think, I know Paige probably feels the same way, but I think that a lot of people will resonate because I know that there's a lot of parents who are trying to break generational curses and to kind of hear y'all's story of your parents, right? How they went through some things
did.
and then made some positive changes of that. And then, I think that's
This
amazing.
is what
And
it
I
looks
think-
like on the other side.
Yeah. And so I have a picture of Cyndi when she was younger. And so it's interesting
so
when she sent it to
cute.
us. when she sent it to us, in the picture, what I see is just a confident, beautiful little girl.
Slaying, look at me.
And literally, it makes me, now hearing the whole story, it makes me wonder. So like I see Amor, and if y'all know my daughter Amor, she's very confident. You can't do nothing to her. She is very confident. But the other day, her brother said, she's like, Daddy, Ari called me ugly. I said, are you ugly? She's like, no. I said, then don't let it faze you.
That's right.
Say, no, thank you. I don't accept it. I said, so you go tell him and say, I am not ugly. No, thank you. I said, so from now on, even at school, if someone says, oh, you're dumb or you're ugly or are you dumb? No. Then don't accept it. You say, no, thank you. Please leave me alone.
Yep.
And so when I see this picture, I think to myself, that's kind of like the fruits of the labor of y'all's, the upbringing that she had. And that's why when you look at this picture, like you're so confident and you can exude the happiness in there. And I think that's just so amazing. And so I'm like, yes. And so I'm like, I really hope that the work that Kyler and I are doing will really pay off for us with our children, because obviously, you know, our children are adopted, and obviously you'll kind of go through that. You will go through that yourself. And so as adopted children, there will be trauma there. And that trauma, you know, starts from birth.
You didn't put.
Yeah. And there might be some that we might put. I mean, who knows? We're just going to try our best and hope that what we're doing is great, right? I always tell people, look at your childhood and see what you liked and what you didn't like. And what you liked, continue. And what you didn't like, maybe change, right? And try to do small little things. You can't do everything at once. Like you're still kind of learning and growing. But for my children that are adopted, I think to myself, I'm trying to be the best parent that I can, because I know that they are children that are adopted, and so there is trauma associated with that. And so I'm trying to do anything to help navigate through that, to make sure that I can ease any of that. And so that way when they do grow up, they know that I am here no matter what. The thing that I liked a lot, and I mean, with my dad, I wasn't able to do that because obviously I was gay in the closet. My dad was a pastor and the whole thing. But y'all were very open. Like you literally were able to tell her anything about a party. Like imagine.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Like that is so
nice. I can't imagine even being like, I got invited to a party. No way.
So it's interesting because for me, like my dad was like I would kind of like in school, he was like an alpha male. He was that guy who wanted to have money or that had money, and he would show it off. And he would give me money and be like, go with girls. And that's what he wanted. Like if I needed money and I would say, oh, I'm going to go with the girl, he would throw the credit card at me, cars, everything. And I couldn't do that. I wasn't going with the girls. But in that style, I didn't have to ask for permission. Like I did go out a lot, and that was really nice, but it was not being open to who I really was. Like I had to hide that a lot, and I wasn't very vocal with him because I was always scared. And he would always say, what happens in the dark will come to light. And I was like, oh, dear Jesus. And so I think it's so interesting, and I see how you are, right? And I think to myself, like if every child got that type of upbringing, how amazing would that be? Because I feel like some of us are barely tapping into our full potential, right? Where if a child has that nurturing, stable environment, a great relationship and all of that, they start blossoming at a very young age. And I think that's just so amazing. You know, and it's sad that not every child will have that. It is sad, but I think it's amazing that there will be people who will step in, right? Obviously, we are foster parents, so we kind of we try to do that, where we step in and do what we can. And I think it's amazing. So like in your mom's episode, like what an amazing story that is, and that she stepped in and was there for you. And I just think that's so powerful.
I think you're going to break all the curses.
And it's not lost on us that there are people who don't have somebody step in. Like my own sisters, my two older sisters never had someone to step in. A lot of the times they raised themselves because they didn't have Julie. So, and now as adults, they have to go through all of that alone.
I agree. And then, you know, you talked about like a village, like you mentioned. Like, obviously, we're all building our village. And so it's interesting for the people who don't have that family and don't have that village. And it's so important. And it's really hard. Friendships are hard, and they take a lot of work. Just kidding.
We know.
But I mean, it really takes a lot of work because I can empathize with some people who are probably listening. Like, well, I don't have the parents support, and I don't have that village, and it's just it can be really hard. Like I remember there was a time where I was alone and I didn't have the friendships, and my family I kept them at arm's length because I was gay, and so it did feel very alone. But I feel like it just takes time, and if you go into it with an open heart, like eventually those friendships will follow and you'll find that village where you can trust, because it's very hard to trust people with your children.
And it's hard to build a village. It took us even a long time to find that, and we've been parents a long time.
So I hope that all of you can find that village, or that you can find that support system.
Me too.
And just keep pushing forward.
That's
right.
That's what you gotta do.
So Cyndi, I know you had a really good childhood,
This
but
picture
if
is
you could say
everything.
anything to young Cyndi, what would you say?
I did have a good childhood. But young Cyndi, I would say that you don't have to try so hard to be liked by people. Like, I've gone through a lot of best friends and a lot of friends because I've never felt like people wanted to be around me, which is wild because my parents always gave me a very secure home. But I would tell her, like, you don't have to be a different person for your friends. You don't need people to validate you as a good friend. And that's what I would say.
You are a really good friend.
I love that. Yes, you are. Yes.
Yeah, I always wanted to be someone's best friend, and no one would ever want to call me their best friend. So it's a big deal to be a best friend to somebody.
That's okay, though.
Yeah.
You're right. You had a lot of
of friends, yeah.
And you think they probably used you for your car,
Yeah.
or hey, just
Yeah.
You had
This
some
is why she
good
gets mad and calls herself my temporary best friend.
We
It just
are your
clicked
temporary
for
best
me.
friend, huh, Jay?
Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on.
Sideline bestie.
Yeah, sideline
Right
bestie.
now, I was always like, Cyndi, you're literally one of my best friends. Like, there's no way you don't
I'm
know
like the
this.
fifth one, you guys.
You're the third. You're
I'm literally at
the
the
third.
bottom.
I have two that have been lifelong
I'm
through
joking.
some of the hardest shit that I've ever been through. So I do say my best friends, and Cyndi be like, oh, Jay, we're sideline best friends.
That's
we're not
okay.
real best friends. You are one of my best friends. Period. You're one of my best friends. I could not live my life without you. I would come hunt you down.
No.
So
And speaking about friendship, it is very hard to find friendships.
Yes.
And it's
Trustworthy.
interesting because I think another thing also is, like, we've all had friends, and some friends are meant for 1 or 2 seasons, and some friends are meant for
I agree with that.
life. And it's very hard. And sometimes as adults, we don't know when, or we don't know. We expect, or at least for me, I expect every friendship that I build to be a lifelong friendship. And then unfortunately, they don't turn out that way. And it's very hard. In my opinion, a friendship breakup is harder than a relationship breakup. And that's just been my experience. When me and Kyler broke up for those 3 months, like 7 years ago, at the same time, I kind of stopped talking to my friend, and that hurt way more. Because I honestly thought that her and I were going to be friends forever, and I was so attached to her children. And I just thought that I was going to see them grow, and and it
friendship
didn't. And
losses
so
are
that is extremely hard. But I think that one of the hard lessons that you do have to, as an adult, that you have to understand is that friends are for certain seasons.
Yeah.
So anytime I start any friendship, when I started with Cyndi and when I started with Paige, I'm like, Lord Jesus, I hope this is for the resties, besties for the resties, not besties for like 1 or 2 seasons. And then we're like, bye.
And I'm the worst because I'll be like, if we're friends in like a year.
That is a big thing for me when people, I always try to speak positivity. Not that it's negative, but I always try to speak like in positive affirmations or positive words. So I always say, we will be best friends for life, or we will do this. And Cindy's like, if we're friends for life. And I'm like,
Now you know why.
I'm like, oh wow. I was like,
it clicked as soon as you said that. I was like, wait a damn
so
minute.
I think like with Jay's friendship, so me and Paige have been friends for a few years now, and I've always known she's had my back, my kids' back. But when Jay came in, he loved my kids the moment he met them.
Yeah.
And he had a different dynamic because at the time, he was one of the only people, him and Paige were the only friends that knew that we were adopting.
Yeah.
And Jay had adopted. And I had thought like, wow, what a great person that I can lean into. And he loved us the moment he met my babies. Like, and my kids have loved him. And so like, I knew that this friendship would work because he didn't just want to be with me.
Yeah.
He wanted to also be with my friends, my husband, my kids. And like, that was such a like breath of fresh air. Like somebody actually is caring about more than just me, which is important to me because I need you to want all of me, that not just who I am.
Yeah, because you're not all that matters to you.
Right, exactly. And so like I just
Package
knew
deal.
when Jay was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be there. When's this party? When's the adoption? Oh yeah, I'm coming." And I was like, "Wow, he actually wants to show up," because people will say they're there for you, and when the time comes, you're gonna know who's actually gonna show up. He traveled to Dallas like 3 weekends in a row, like a 5-hour, 6-hour trip to come and be a good friend.
With kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Booked his own hotel, spent his own money to be here to be a great friend to me.
Yeah.
And like that has shown like the most true colors. And so I am very grateful for the friendships with both of them that I've built. So
That's good.
yeah.
Everyone needs a friend.
That's right.
So interesting fun fact is when I first met Cyndi is because we were working on a collaboration with Jambos,
Yeah.
who provides brand new pajamas to children experiencing care. Go check them out. But I didn't try to pursue her so quickly because I was such a baby creator. I was like at 5,000 followers, and I didn't want anyone in that group. I was literally the baby out of the group. I think the next person, I think Ramsey was like, 20,000?
Yeah.
And I didn't want them to be like, this guy is only trying to be our friends because of social media. Because it wasn't that. Like, I was like...
there are people like
They
that.
do.
And
there
there is,
are
and
people
that's why I was very cautious in the way that I approached, like when I first messaged you and when I first messaged Kelly, and even when Mama Talk came. Remember when Mama Talk came on the podcast? And she came in, I just said hello, and I wasn't trying to breathe down her neck, even though I was like fangirling because I love Mama Talk so much. Remember I told you? And I just tried to step back, and when we sat down for dinner, you're like, sit next to her, and I was like, no, I don't want her to think that, oh, here comes this guy just because I'm like a big thing. And I was like, no, like I'm genuinely just trying to be friends with people, and it's not. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter what following you have or whatever. It's like, do I connect with you as a person? And that's how I make my friendships, not based off of that. But when I first met you guys, I was like, oh, I hope they don't think I'm just here for that.
No.
And
Just
so,
a number.
No. Literally.
Literally
no.
just
Once I met Jay, I was like, he ain't leaving now.
Oh, yeah, you were stuck like
You're done.
Chuck. You didn't know it. We are not letting you go.
And I was like,
Especially not
Paige,
to
you're
New
going to
York.
meet Jay, Paige. And she's like, okay. Then Jay was never leaving.
Yeah, I was like, well, we have to keep him.
and Paige's booty mesmerized me. Remember?
That's what
Do
it
you
was, you
remember,
guys.
Cindy? We were walking out of the thing, and she started twerking. I was like,
He never knew.
literally, I went home and told Kyla, I was like, oh my God, Kyla.
That's what it was. That's why he came to Dallas for the booty.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways.
Okay.
As long as somebody appreciates it.
Question for Cindy. What are you most proud of your mom?
Aww, my mom. So my mom has almost died twice. The last couple of
My
years.
God,
That's
yeah,
a
that
lot
was
to say.
so bad.
And literally, almost died 2 times. She had bacterial meningitis, and people have asked me like, "How you're doing?" She's doing amazing. But I think my mom's like seeing my mom her whole life. She's very resilient and the most caring person that I've ever. Well, obviously my mom, but I think that I'm just proud about like and how she handles herself in certain situations, going through hard struggles that she goes through with close people, not close people, and how she has just always held herself with kindness always. Like, I just feel like my mom would never hurt a fly, but also don't fuck with her.
Yeah, you give me very much do no harm but take no shit.
Yeah. You cross my buttons, but I don't like drama.
No.
It's just no drama. Why? It's not
She
getting
always just
nowhere.
holds herself really kind.
But if you push my
Yes, she
buttons, I
will.
will let
She
you
will.
have it. But other than that, no.
And I'm just glad she's here
just-
still. Like,
Me
it literally
too,
is
thank
like
God. He
the
didn't save me
scariest
once,
thing.
but he saved me twice.
That's
so.
right. Saved her 2 times.
And I do get anxiety though when I get sick.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
so, but I'm still,
trauma
I'm getting through it.
Yes. But I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate to have a great mama. And now my children get a great,
Yes.
great grandma.
Oh, they're my life. Yep.
We're literally going from here to a baseball game.
Yeah.
She's going to be at every one of them.
Everyone, tomorrow back to back. I am. When I miss them, I feel bad. Oh, I didn't get to make the game. But
Yeah.
I'm going to be here this weekend.
I'm so glad you came today.
Yeah.
Same. I think, the one thing when I see you is it reminds me a lot of my mom. The type of grandma that you are is the type of grandma
Yeah.
my mom is.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm like, oh, my mom's
We're like,
not
Cindy
here.
always has a babysitter. And my mom
Listen,
babysitter,
don't get
but-
me started on how I look at you both like.
You know, and it's just because my mom is like the mom that you are. Like my mom, when she comes to the house, like she just comes in and she starts cleaning.
Does her
She
thing, yeah.
is very affectionate, and she just gets into life and just
Yeah.
starts helping and
That's
all of
mamas.
that. And it's so amazing to when my mom does come, and when I see that, I'm like, oh, like how sweet. You know?
No, I don't take it for granted. I know a lot of people are like, well, you're lucky you have your mom. I am. I'm very lucky and I'm grateful because
No, I'm
if
grateful.
I did not have my mom and my dad being helpful,
No, I'm grateful for
would be
Cindy too.
rough.
I mean, both those times I got sick and was in that hospital, everybody put their life at hold for me. Even Chris, you know, and I'm.
and we're
very-
fine, huh?
Yes.
We
I'm-
keep you going.
Come on, Nani, you're going to go to the mall today. No, I'm not going to go.
Yes,
You're
you are.
going. I'm like, okay, I'm going. Oh
Yes.
yeah, they keep me going.
That's right.
Which I'm glad, you know.
We make her go everywhere.
She does the same thing to me. She
good.
was like, get up.
So Jay's
Get
like,
out.
I'm going. Jay will go. Paige will be like, come on, Paige.
I have FOMO, and I'm like, oh, you're at the mall? You didn't invite me. You're like, you're working. So?
He was like, don't call me from like 9 to 11. So I don't call him. He's like, what are you doing today?
But every morning I start my day off with texting her.
Yep.
Good
To
morning.
this day, yeah.
beautiful.
She
And
texts
yep,
me every
to this
single day.
day.
Yeah.
So
Calls me every day after work.
Yep,
Yep.
every day.
Love it.
She's my
I
baby.
think that's amazing.
So
and-
wonderful. I'm not jealous at all.
You're going to be that mom,
But you're
though.
that
Could you,
mama.
Yeah.
could you give my number to your mom?
I told Jay the other day, I'm like, if I even asked my mom, can you watch all the kids? She'd probably be like, yeah, I can.
I'd be like,
Bring 'em
Sure.
on.
That's
Sure,
like-
I'll watch them all.
how many kids? 5, 8, 10?
That's a lot of kids.
10 kids?
She'd be like,
you got my
sure.
oldest.
Yeah. She'd be like, sure. Okay.
Bring them on. Like, you guys going to Vegas? I'm excited. I get
I
the kids to
know.
myself.
We're going to
So
You guys get to
exciting.
go
We've
and have
already
fun.
been there from this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Technically, we've already been.
Who won?
Who won?
Stop it. I need
It's
to
Shay.
Her?
It's not me.
It's not me.
If it's me, it's rigged. It's not me.
Stop
If
it.
it's me, someone paid last week. And it wasn't
Probably her
me.
parents.
You know what? Regardless of which, y'all can have fun.
It's so fun that we're all
Just be
against each other.
happy
I think
for
that's
each other. I love it.
and you know, speaking to the friendship part, right? Because some friendships, if you were in the same category with the same with your
Be a
friends,
competition.
it would be a competition in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's good envy and there's bad envy,
Oh, for
right? So
sure.
like someone could be envious and say, "Oh my God, I just love what you have," or "Oh, I'm so happy that you're blessed, and one day I'm gonna have that."
Yeah.
That's like the good envy. Then there's like the bad envy. It's like, oh,
You can
I
read
don't
that
like
right
She
away.
doesn't like
You
that.
really can.
You can
The-
read that right
yeah,
away.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice that yes, we are in the same category, but we all support each other. And if Cindy wins, I'll be proud and I'll be cheering. And if Paige wins,
And when Jay wins,
When Jay wins, we're gonna be screaming.
yeah. And so I think that's a
feel
nice thing.
Honored that the three of us are
I
in
know.
positive parenting.
Yeah.
That
I
there are
know.
5 slots and
Three
3
of
of
us.
them
And we're 3 of those
are
slots.
this panel, and I think
I
that's
didn't
just
even
so
pay for any votes for
incredible.
you guys.
I didn't pay for none.
No.
me
I'm
neither.
0. I don't got money like that.
Not a
Yeah.
one, me either. But I did vote for you.
I
What's
did
meant
did
to
vote
be
for
is
you.
meant to be, and what's meant for you will come to you.
That's
And
right.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
There is more than
That's
enough
right.
to go around.
This has been a good episode, you guys.
been so
Thank you
fun.
for being here.
Amazing.
you have another question?
Are you good?
No,
Jay? You got
we're
it.
good. This
Alrighty,
is-
Jay.
This has
Thank
been
you.
amazing. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Diane, for
Yeah,
coming and
thank
doing.
you,
Happy
Mom.
Mother's Day.
And thank you for having me.
Of course, of
It was
course.
good to have my mom here.
Yeah, it was special.
Yes.
It's really cool to
I
have our
loved it.
moms
I
here.
loved it.
That was real special.
Yes.
All right, you guys, you know the drill. Until next time,
Keep those giggles flowing.
and the love flowing. What, girl? What? Keep those giggles going.
And the love flowing. And until next time,
Mom knows best.
Or at least they're trying.
Yeah,
their best. That's
we're
right,
trying our
Mom.
best.
Bye, guys.